Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and welcome to the Placentia City Council meeting. Mr. McKenna, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Green. Present. Councilman Wanka.
Here.
Councilmember Yamaguchi.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith.
Here.
Mayor Shader.
Here. Thank you so much. At this time, the public may address the City Council concerning any agenda item which is not a public hearing item or on matters within the jurisdiction of the City Council. There is a 5-minute time limit for each individual addressing the City Council, and I have been given the cards, and we will start with here's another one. Late breaking. If anybody else, there's plenty of time to give the clerk a card. Lou Noble.
My name is Lou Noble. I'm a homeless advocate advocating for structured campgrounds. You know that the human rights to water and proper sanitation was recognized as a human right by the United Nations General Assembly on 28th of July 2010. We have fallen behind as a nation here with our homeless population that have not had proper sanitation as we have left them out in the streets. It's good that we're getting housing, some kind of housing, but it's come to a critical situation that the people that are still out there need that proper sanitation. You know, because restaurants have closed their doors to a lot of these people. So they're out there, you know, doing their best on trying to follow rules, even with the trash pickup that builds up. But you know, we've been trying to make sense for so many years, even calling what has happened now a state of emergency almost 3 years ago, before Anaheim even called it. But that wasn't sufficient enough because our county has failed having structured campgrounds. Is because shelters are not fit for a lot of people with either mental illness regarding PTSD, traumas. A lot of abusive people that come from abusive homes are out there, especially women. We have one shelter that's always full, but I still see a lot of women out there that are now in danger because they're out there in the streets. But as we see, you know, things are not picking up as fast as we can. Sacramento did open one empty lot there because they did it within a week. They needed to get people out of that parking lot of the beach. And they're still there, but that's not what we call structured campground because they don't have any shade. They don't have proper sanitation as far as porta potties are not fit for so many people in one little campground there. That's why they're now going out to the parks. If you structure a campground the right way, people more likely would not be going out of there to other places of you know, they will stay there. And this is what they want. I mean, I talked to some of the police out here, and I'm not going to mention names, but they're frustrated. The fact that things are not, you know, are not getting, and I've talked to people out there that it is just common sense to actually open the SB2 zone. I don't know if it's the red tape or whatever it is, but if Sacramento was able to do that in no time while people wait, it doesn't have to be permanent. It just has to be to allocate all these people that are out there in the street and still suffering, you know? Because not all of them are drug addicts, not all of them are thieves, or not all, you know, and some of them, their drug addiction comes from self-medicating because there's a lot of people out there with disabilities. And like I said, the shelter resistant is because of their mental issues, that they can be in a place that's actually warehousing them. Thank you.
Thank you. William O'Connell.
I'm not William.
I know you're not.
My name is Lacey Moore. I'm a case manager at Children's Home, and I just want to introduce Tina Braden.
Okay. Hi, Tina.
I'm a recovering addict. Today I have 30 days clean. I wouldn't be able to say that if it wasn't for Colette's Children's Home. 30 days ago, I was homeless, sleeping behind Arby's on Lincoln and Valley View. And I had been on the street for almost 2.5 years. I had lost almost all hope of ever being able to change my life. And I was afraid that maybe someday I would be dead out there, like so many others. Today, in the past 30 days, I've been able to look for jobs. I've had several job interviews. My children are proud of me, and they don't worry about me anymore. I'm very positive that by the time I finish this program, that I will be able to support myself and be a productive member of a society again, like I used to be. I'd like to thank the City of Placentia for supporting Colette's Children's Home and giving me my life back. Thank you.
That's very nice. There was time left. Billy, did you want to say something?
She put in a green card herself, so she did.
Okay. 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council members. My name is Billy O'Connell, and I'm the Executive Director and Founder of Colette's Children's Home. And I want to thank each and every one of you for what you do in this community. What I've learned in life, there is people that think, talk, and tell, and others that do it, are doing it, and continue to do it. And you are a prime example of that, because several months ago, when I was over at the federal court, when there was all this court cases going on, the riverbeds, you guys stood up and led by example. But I also want to share a little bit about Colette's Children's Home with you. On November the 1st, we're going to be celebrating taking over 5,000 homeless women and children off the streets. We've helped over 1,500 women find work, and we reunified over 300 children with their mothers. Since we've started tracking savings, they have a combined savings of over $1.5 million. But I want to go back to what I said about people doing things. Colette's has truly invested in the city of Placentia. We invested over $8,760,000 in property acquisition. We manage over $18 million of property of housing. We provide emergency housing, transitional, permanent supportive housing. And we started a program a year ago where the county is extremely happy with us, where we manage and put homeless men into permanent housing. And I brought some stories from people. If you wish to read them, I can share them with you. But of the 438 beds Colette's Children's Home has, we have 156 beds here in Placentia. We always have flown below the radar. We go out and we make a difference. Any community that we have gone into, we have changed it. When we came into the city of Placentia, we were told to stay out of the neighborhood. Certain people had very strong presence in that area of Placentia, and we helped turn it around. I know there's police officers that we've worked with and got rid of the gang element in that city. So why am I here tonight? I'm here about the Navigation Center. Colette's Children's Home put an application in. I can tell each and every one of you without a shadow of a doubt, we could manage that property just like anybody else. We're invested in the community. We haven't told you what we are going to do, but we have shown you what we have done. We are doing it in this community, and we want to continue to do it. And anything we can do to help you with this Navigation Center, Colette's Children's Home would be a good operator for that program. So I want to thank each and every one of you for your support. Keep up the great work. And Colette's Children's Home will always be here in this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Joshua Correa. Good evening.
Good evening, Council. Wasn't planning on speaking, but I did want to just underline a few things about homelessness. First off, homeless. When I first came back to Placentia, obviously homelessness was a huge visible issue, not just in Placentia, but in all North Orange County. Since that time, I've come to learn that there's no one-size-fits-all solution. There's every path that leads into homelessness, and there should be every path that leads out of homelessness. And I'm thankful for the partnerships that have been created, thankful for the work that Colette's is doing, that His House is doing, that Mercy House is doing. And I've taken the stance for myself to both support top-down initiatives as well as bottom-up initiatives. So with that said, there is going to be a big transition with this new navigation center, and I would look to lean on the wisdom of those who are currently serving that community. I've been supporting a local ministry out of, originally started from Hope International University, the student body, and it's called Messy House. And I've been serving with them for the past 3 months. And they're out there every week working with that population. As well as I want to voice my support for Lou Noble. When I was with Well of Life Church and going onto the riverbeds and just serving and interjecting myself in any way I could just to be a presence, people often came up to me and asked, "Are you Lou? Because this Lou guy can help us. Like, this Lou guy is going to be able to be an advocate for us for if I need help with legal, if I need help with police, if I need help with, he's an advocate. Are you Lou?" And they'd all assume that because I had long hair and Lou has long hair. And so obviously this has got to be the guy. But I'm not Lou Noble. There is one Lou Noble, and thankfully he's here in Placentia right now. I know he's not a resident. I know he's not someone who you may know, but the homeless population does know him, and they trust him. And oftentimes we could look at people who come to this podium in two ways. We could look at them as a problem, or we could look at them as part of the solution. Thankfully, Lou is continuing to just advocate something that he believes deeply in, which is campgrounds. But he also brought up the situation of proper sanitation. I'm hoping that we can work on that leading up to the navigation center by either opening up the showers and restrooms early so that people are used to coming into that facility, or just coming up with some creative solutions to address the water and the sanitation and the bathroom situation. But also to utilize the trust that Lou brings. How can we work with Lou to speak into that community? When he comes around with a reputation, to build trust, to go out with him and look at situations through your eyes and also through his. And I'm not just saying just Lou, but I do want to encourage you not to just outright reject the idea or the concept, because it is very true. I ran into several folks who were vets who had a hard time not being able to adjust into housing. They wanted to be outside because it was more comfortable to them. I've run into folks who have mental frustrations with overcrowded shelters. So there is an actual need there. And like I said in the onset, there's every path into homelessness, and there should be every path out of homelessness. So I hope that you can reach out and figure out ways that we can utilize a trusted member of the community and to advocate for homelessness. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. And that moves us, we have no public hearings tonight. That moves us on to regular agenda item number 3A, award of professional services agreement with PATH for the operation of a year-round navigation center located at 731 South Melrose.
Each and every agency or each and every organization that put forth an application and participated in the RFP process is very qualified and very strong in their own rights for what they do and the particular clientele or population of the homeless grouping that they serve. They have strengths and they bring things to the table. I recognize that somebody ran over budget. I recognize a couple of them ran over budget a bit. I recognize that there are some latitudes as to how it is that they can adjust their programming and make that happen. But what is critical to me is this is not, for lack of a better or more refined term, a test tube type experiment. This is really requiring that we hit the mark on the very first go around. I'm not saying that PATH would fit the bill for some other programming that I hope Placentia will tackle and take on and be a leader in the county, as we've done so thus far. I see a strong positional opportunity for both Colette's and his house in future transitional housing projects and different matters in which we address what goes forward when we move this population past a navigation center. But when we set up this navigation center, we open the doors to this navigation center, it needs to hit the mark the first time. It's not a, hey, we're going to take a shot at it, we're going to see how this might work. If this doesn't happen and we can make some adjustments here. Am I expecting a flawless process? Absolutely not. It's government. There's nothing flawless about what we do, okay? Everything we do is faced with some hurdle, some challenge, or some degree of conflict. But in doing so, it is a responsibility of this council. It is a responsibility of these service providers. It's a responsibility of all of the applicants to bring to bear the best, the most complete, and the most accurate degree of service to meet the needs of not only this community at large, but the homeless population that exists within the confines of our jurisdictional borders, and how it is that we're going to address those matters and move those people from positions on the street. Lou, thank you. I appreciate it. This is the second time I've seen you here. You're welcome in our house every single meeting we have. Keep coming back. Let's make sure that we're addressing those things and looking what's taking place out there. I hope the building's not coming apart, okay? But with that, I don't have any questions per se, but I will be open to questions of folks at a later point in time if they have some more specific to me.
Okay, thank you so much.